When I first heard Samson talk about the Omega candle and going to 1 million, I was like, yeah, maybe the next cycle. But now I'm seeing all these data points. I'm going, that doesn't seem too far-fetched. There's definitely a few different outcomes that could get us to 1 million like real fast.
Think about the strategic Bitcoin reserve. They have such an opportunity here to recapitalize America's balance sheet. That thing will get politicized down the road one day, where there'll be a future politician who'll be like, wow, we have all these Bitcoin reserves, we have 40 trillion in Bitcoin reserves. Like maybe someone like AOC is like, why don't we liquidate that so we can pay for free housing for everyone?
I think that is literally like Bitcoin's time to shine, to show the world that it is a safe haven asset.
Like no one builds wealth through diversification. And literally when you boil it down, you're like, okay, like I'm gonna get more involved in things I know less about. Like every bet you get from your main bet is a deviation from how much you know about the main thing. The real irony and the laugh is gonna be when MicroStrategy buys Microsoft.
Oh my God.
At the end of this cycle.
Right.
Because MicroStrategy is like, yeah, we could use a little software business.
Yeah.
Right. And so
But and also, wait, we have the FASB rules come out in 25.
yeah.
And FASB is really a game changer, right, from an accounting perspective.
It's beyond the scope of like game changer.
Maybe explain to me how you think that's going to impact. Do you think that just mean a flood of corporates are coming because of that?
Well, it makes it a lot easier to carry Bitcoin on your balance sheet and benefit from the price appreciation. So right now, the way Bitcoin is carried on the balance sheet, you can only recognize price depreciation. So you take a hit, and so
you basically mark the market on every low. Is that
to the low, right? And then you don't mark to market back to any highs or any increases in price. The new rules with FASB will allow you to market to market and take, I believe, the earnings to maybe even realized earnings.
Oh wow!
But so over the last year or so, I mean, MicroStrategy has been showing negative earnings every quarter. So in Q1, which will be like when they report, like we'll be in April of April 2025 or May of 2025, they'll have to restate the prior year and capture all the losses as earnings in Q1.
So, but I mean, they don't have to pay tax on that, do they? If it's just capital gains?
That's getting a little bit above my pay grade.
Okay.
No, I don't think they're going to pay tax on it because I don't think it's going to flow through
it's
net
just
income like that.
Okay.
But
it's not earnings per se, but it's
yeah. So it's not taxable earnings.
It's their balance sheet growth.
Yeah, but it'll flow through EPS, I believe, is my interpretation of it. Yeah. So that's going to change like how that stock is looked at by analysts. I mean, right now, any analyst.
It'd be like if a company owned a bunch of brick and mortar, and the value of their real estate was going up.
Right, but you only you marked it down when there was a real estate crash, and now you own all this real estate. I mean, most small businesses and even corporations, how they really have made money over the last 50 years was from the real estate assets.
Owning assets, yeah.
The plumber, he bought the shop, he made his salary every year. You hear all these stories nowadays on Twitter. I don't know if they're all true, and I don't think it's going to last of all these, PE guys, private equity buying these, plumbing shops and just enhancing marketing. But I think that's a lot of that's bullshit.
But think about what you just said, and it just struck me real quickly. These guys would, I mean, all of us, right? We go work for our salary, and it was the assets that made us wealthy.
Yes.
And if you made
if you could
just extract 5% out of that income and you put that into assets, that's how you got wealthy.
Or leverage the asset that you own,
yes.
The existing asset.
Now,
and use because you didn't need repairs and maintenance on your building, so you need maintenance reserves. Put those in Bitcoin. Take the cash flow from the tenants or whatever and put that in Bitcoin.
Right. This is what I was getting at. Is that imagine a future where you're still the plumber, you're still the electrician, you're still the guy mowing lawns, you're still making your 10% margin. You're going to use 95% of that to pay your bills, and you take that little 5% that's left, and you're going to invest it in Bitcoin. Or imagine you just get paid in Bitcoin,
right?
And you're getting paid in the asset. So now you take that 0.5%, you don't even have to convert it. It just sits on your balance sheet, and that builds your wealth.
Right.
So running a business where you're earning Bitcoin, I don't know. Peter McCormick did this, right? I mean, that's just running his podcast and saving his Bitcoin.
Well, biblically speaking, you'd want to have 1/3 of your wealth in your home, 1/3 of your wealth in your business. Maybe you have a garment business and you have to have inventory. You own a third of your wealth in money. At the time, it was gold, right? So that's your savings. You have a third of your wealth in liquid savings, a third of your wealth probably in the business you run. Maybe you're W-2, so your balance sheet looks different. But if you own your business, you own inventory, and then maybe a third of your balance sheet is your home. Property taxes sort of changed the conversation about owning a home, but just from the perspective of like stability and owning a home, maybe some of your wealth is in there. And that makes sense when your home has just been sold to you at utility value, right?
By the way, I've been talking to a company, Orange Bridge. These
Bitcoin-backed loans?
No. So what they're doing is they're doing a non-interest line of credit. I mean, the interest accrues, but you don't have to pay monthly interest. Line of credit against your home that has to be used to buy Bitcoin. And then when you buy the Bitcoin, they record the value that you paid for it, and they're watching the value, and then they start messaging you when it's up 300%. Like, you should pay off your loan, you should pay off your loan, you should pay off your loan. They try and get you to sell and clear out that loan, but it's like a 10-year loan.
Right.
Where you don't have to make a payment.
Right.
But the interest just accrues.
Right.
And as long as your Bitcoin is growing faster than that accruement, it's basically double secured, right? The loan is secured against the Bitcoin and the real estate.
Right. Right. And every vertical,
amazing,
from life insurance
it's all
to
coming.
health insurance, it all should be backed by Bitcoin, should be in the reserves.
Right.
But right now, life insurance companies or insurance companies can't buy spot Bitcoin.
Right. FEMA needs to get off their butt and buy Bitcoin to pay for all these hurricanes.
Or maybe stop causing the hurricanes. I don't know.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money, and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest Byte Federal ATM and turn your cash to coin. Byte Federal has over 1,200 locations around the country with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, bytefederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only US manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our US-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.